Good morning, class. Today, in the chapter that is solid state, we will discuss about the classification of crystalline solid. Okay, students, earlier in this chapter, we have simply discussed about what are solids, that is, the substance which constituent particles are closely packed, then their characteristic properties, that is, they have definite shape, volume, mass. The intermolecular forces are strong between them. They are almost incompressible. Constituent particles may be atoms, ions, or molecules. So, and we also have discussed about its classification, that is classification of solid, in which we have discussed that they may be amorphous, which are pseudo solids, and they may be crystalline, which are true solids. So now we will discuss about the classification of true solids. So let us begin. Students, if overall you will see the classification of crystalline solid, they are basically divided into four. The very first one is the molecular solid, the second one is the metallic solid, the third one is the covalent solid, and the fourth one is the ionic solid. If you will see these classifications, you can better understood that these classifications are based on the basis of constituting units and interparticle forces. Okay, that is, the substance or the particles involved in these crystals, okay, are having what type of forces. So when we will see the very first, that is molecular solid, so talking about the forces, there will be van der Waals forces. When we will talk about the metallic solid, then the forces, there will be the molecules will be held together by the metals will be held together by the mobile electrons. And if we will talk about the covalent solids, then from the name it is clear that it is because of the constituting atoms that are held together by covalent bonds. Okay, and now talking about the ionic solids, so they are basically because of the movable ions, or you can say the alternatively arrangement of cations and anions. Okay, so we will discuss the about them clearly, but before discussing them, let us see one more classification, that is the molecular solid is further divided into three. You can see in the figure, the molecular solid is further divided into three, that is the polar molecular solid, the non-polar molecular solid, and hydrogen bonded molecular solid. If you will see the polar molecular solid, you can see here the molecules are polar in nature. Okay, you can see the examples like HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, SO2, etc. Okay, now in case of non-polar molecular solid, you can see here non-polar molecular solid, from the name it is clear that the molecules are non-polar in nature. Okay, the molecules are non-polar in nature, and their examples are like H2, like I2, like CCl4, that is carbon tetrachloride, etc. And talking about the hydrogen bonded molecular solid, from the name it is clear that these molecules are bonded with hydrogen bond. Okay, so wherever you see the hydrogen bond, and basically you know that the hydrogen bonding is shown by the Fern group, that is fluorine, oxygen. Fern group is simply the fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen. Okay, so for this the examples are like H2O, NH3, that is ammonia, ROH, that are alcohols. So these are basically the division of the classification of molecular solid. Now let us discuss in brief about the very first classification, that is the classification on the basis of constituting units and interparticle forces. So for this, what are molecular solid? From the word it is clear that they are the crystal constitutes by molecules. Okay, these are constitutes by molecules, and these are the uncharged species that are held together by, you have to pay attention here, that is the van der Waals forces. Okay, here the forces will be of van der Waals forces, or you can say dispersion force or London force. Okay, and they are further classified into polar molecular, that we have discussed earlier, the non-polar one and the hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Okay, you can see once again about these classification. This is the classification of molecular solid, the polar molecular solid, the non-polar molecular solid, and the H bonded molecular solid. Okay, and here the example of polar one is HCl, SO2, etc. Non-polar one is H2, argon, I2, etc. and H bonded is H2O, NH3 and ROH, etc. Now let us discuss the very second, that is the metallic solid. So talking about metallic solid, from the word metal, okay, so simply they are called metals, and as they are called as metals, so they are held together by mobile electron. You know that in metals the electrons are movable, okay, they can move. That is why we are naming it as here as mobile electron, or you can say they are loosely bonded electrons that are free to move. Okay, and due to presence of free electrons, they are good conductor of heat and electricity, or whatever the property of metals, the metallic solid would constitute the same property, that is they are good conductor of heat and electricity, or you can say that they are malleable and ductile. Okay, and or you can say due to very varying strength of metallic bond, they may be hard or soft. Okay, as metals may be soft and hard, similarly metallic solid may be soft and hard. Now let us discuss the very third, that is covalent solid. So talking about covalent solid, from the word we can say that they are constituted by atoms that are held together by covalent bond. You have to focus here that here the molecules are bonded, the constituent atoms are bonded by covalent bond. Okay, and because of the formation of these covalent bond, the giant atomic lattice is seen. Okay, giant, that is very big. Okay, the continuous directional and rigid bonding in lattice of covalent solid make it a single large, almost incompressible molecule. Okay, if you can see the examples like graphite, like diamond, you can see how much networking is there. Okay, there may be hexagonal networking, there may be tetrahedral networking, so these are also sometimes called as network solid. Okay, because of the networking in between them, they are also called, termed as network solid. Okay, and as discussed, said, their examples are like diamond, graphite, SiO2, etc. Now let's talk about the ionic solid. So ionic solid are formed by alternatively arranged cations and anions. Okay, here in their structure, what basically happens, the cations and anions are alternatively arranged. Okay, you will discuss this briefly in further chapters about how their classification is done, or you can say that how their structure is made. Okay, that is in case of NaCl, one Na is surrounded by 6 Cl atom. In this way you have to study about them. So basically, as we are saying that they are alternatively arranged cations and anions and are held together by electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, as you have seen in case of many ionic compound, they are held together by electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, so in pure or solid state, they are not good conductor of electricity. Whenever you have to see their pure state or their solid state, they are bad conductor of electricity. But why they are so? Because ions are not free to move, but in their you can say in ionic state, or you can say in molten state, they are good conductor of electricity. You can understood this by the example. Likewise, you can see NaCl. It is bad conductor of heat and electricity in pure and solid state, but in molten state, okay, it is good conductor of heat and electricity. So student, this is all about the today's topic, that is the classification of crystalline solid. And in this we have discussed that the crystalline solids are classified into 4, that is molecular solid, metallic solid, covalent solid and ionic solid. Okay, and now we have also discussed that the molecular solid is further divided into polar molecular solid, non-polar molecular solid and H bonded molecular solid. So student, this is all about today's lecture. Thank you.